Scoot Henderson is a generational point guard who is being overlooked because of Victor Wembanyama. He is the most polished young star in the 2023 draft and could be one of the greats. In this video, I'll explain why Henderson is being slept on and why he should be the next great point guard of this generation. Standing at 6 feet 2 inches and weighing just 195 pounds, he may just look like an above-average person off the court. But looks can be deceiving as he's a scoring assassin on the court. Scoot Henderson has a ridiculous 6 foot 9 inch wingspan. And if you doubt his high-flying skills, Scoot's vertical is actually 46 inches. Compare his vertical to gunslinger Ja Morant, as Ja's is only 44 inches. We're about to see some high-flying and posterizing dunks from our man Scoot, and ESPN better be ready to put them on their daily top 10 highlight reel. If you ever wondered how Scoot became so good, then look no further than his high school career. It was during this time that his game really got people's attention. Just in his sophomore year, he scored a then career high of 49 points, as well as making the game-winning shot over Miller Grove High School. Already at a young age, he was honing his clutch potential. But even more impressive is what he did in his junior year, as he scored 53 points, breaking the single and career scoring records at his alma mater at Carlton J. Kell High School in Georgia. Now, what makes Scoot Henderson almost a lock in terms of being a highly touted point guard is who on earth Scoot is competing against. Unlike his draft classmates like Brandon Miller, who competes against other collegiate athletes in the SEC, or Victor Wembanyama, who competes against unknown French players, Scoot is competing against actual professionals who are just as hungry as he is in making it to the NBA. In other words, his level of competition is much higher than everyone else's, which means he's ready for prime time. Now, Scoot didn't follow the traditional path of going to college right after high school. This dude wanted to compete and compete at the highest level. He graduated a year early from high school at the age of 18 and forgo his college experience. In 2021, Scoot Henderson signed a $1 million contract with the NBA G League Ignite team. He averaged 15 points, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds. Considering he was only a teenager during that year, those are bona fide stats for someone so young. Even more impressive is the signature individual games he dropped against the G League competition. At the age of 17 years old and playing just his second game, he recorded 31 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists. Again, this dude is just a kid playing against people with college degrees. 20 and 30-year-old professionals trying to make it to the NBA. And he just showed up for the competition, making it look easy. One thing for sure is he's done with the appetizer that is the G League, and he's ready to make the jump to the NBA. Actually, he should have jumped straight from high school to the NBA, but because of an outdated rule, he first needed to go to the G League to achieve his dreams. When Scoot makes it to the NBA, there's one attribute or trait that'll make him stand out against the competition, and that's his mid-range game. His mid-range game is simply beautiful to watch. Typically, guards develop this level of consistency when they've learned the competition after a couple of years in the NBA. However, for Scoot, it comes so easily and natural for him. His mid-range can be compared to prime Derrick Rose or even KD's mid-jumper at the top of the key. But while people compare him to Russell Westbrook's God-given athletic ability, please don't compare his jump shot, or brick shot I should say, to Brody. Scoot's game is simply mature at this level, and if you give him a little space when defending him, he'll make you pay. That's because he's built stocky, muscular, and already has power and explosiveness not found in many young ballers. Simply put, he's simply a kid in a grown man's body. But if there is a knock on Scoot, it's his three-point shooting. Yes, he's not Steph Curry, and far from it. But one thing we do learn in the NBA is that the three ball can be improved with proper training and repetition. While Scoot can definitely shoot the mid-range and finish with the best of them, don't overlook the fact that he is in fact a true point guard. Sorry, Kobe, but Scoot does actually pass the ball. I'm not saying he's CP3 or Jason Kidd, but his stats speak for his passing game. In the 2022-23 season for the Ignite, he averaged 7 assists per game. These are LeBron-like numbers, and we can only imagine what his NBA stat line will look like in the future. While LeBron continued to put up dominant numbers when he was coming out of high school, many people compared LeBron to Jordan, and rightfully so. But his athletic ability was more like Scottie Pippen mixed with Magic Johnson's vision and passing ability. So where does this put Scoot Henderson? There's been a ton of comparisons to John Wall's speed, Russell Westbrook and Derrick Rose's relentlessness, and even Donovan Mitchell's playmaking and scoring abilities. But maybe he's a mixture of all of them put together. He's a combo scoring guard that makes plays for his teammates. Maybe the best one-on-one comparison is Derrick Rose circa MVP 2010-2011. Rose was as explosive as they came and was relentless at attacking the rim. Derrick did have a better three-point shot and had that clutch genetics in the NBA. Scoot still has a few things to improve on his game, such as his decision-making abilities and shooting the three ball. But Scoot is probably the best player since Ja Morant and Derrick Rose, and that's saying something. The media is saying that the floor is Colin Sexton and the ceiling is Rose or Westbrook. Regardless of how Scoot turns out, we all know he's going to give everything he has because he's destined to make it in the big leagues. To sum it all up, at the end of the day, Sterling Scoot Henderson is a walking bucket. He'll put up numbers, but there are things to watch out for. For one, his three-point game needs to take a step up because he only shot 25% from deep during his time in the G League. Also, one of the glaring issues with Scoot is he's had some weird injuries. Sure, every NBA player has injuries. We just hope it's not a major injury like changing your career dramatically like Derrick Rose's knee injuries. But during his last season with the Ignite, he had a concussion, nasal fracture, and an ankle injury which led to cutting his time with the G League short. Maybe it was for precautionary reasons to get him ready for the NBA, but he did deal with a couple of odd injuries throughout his basketball career. While he may be injury-prone in a weird way, there's no denying Scoot's passion and love for basketball. He's highly emotional and can get himself fired up for any and all situations. He does have a tendency to overhype himself and even taunt his defenders, which he needs to tone down a bit. He's not loud like Draymond, but he is extremely hungry to win. His motto is even ODD, which stands for overly determined to dominate. Couldn't have said it any better myself. And we're cheering for Scoot to take the league by storm.